Today, we're going to dive into one of the most incredible choices a human being has ever made, and it happened in one of the darkest places in all of history. This is the story of how a man's life, really shaped by a vision he had as a kid, led him to the ultimate act of sacrifice. So let's set the scene. It's late July 1941, and we're inside the Auschwitz concentration camp. A prisoner has apparently escaped, and that means the camp's brutal rule of collective punishment kicks in. The SS guards are about to unleash a very specific kind of terror. They line up all the men from the escapees' barracks. 10 of them are going to be chosen at random to be starved to death in an underground bunker. And as the names are called, one man, a Polish soldier named Franciszek Gajowniczek, just breaks down. He cries out for the family he knows he'll never see again. You can just imagine the absolute dread in the air. But then something happens. Something that completely defies the logic of a place like Auschwitz, a place designed to crush the human spirit. A man, prisoner number 166070, steps forward, and he offers to take Gajowniczek's place. So who on earth was this man? And what could possibly lead someone to make a choice like that? Well, to understand that final act, we really have to rewind. We have to go all the way back to the beginning, to his childhood in Poland when he was just a boy named Raymond Kolbe. Raymond was apparently a real handful, a restless, spirited kid, and one day his mom, just completely worn out, asked him, "What will become of you?" Now, for whatever reason, that question really hit him hard. He took it to heart, went to a nearby church to pray, and what happened there changed his entire life. He had a profound vision. In this vision, he said the Virgin Mary appeared to him, and she was holding 2 crowns. She explained that the white crown meant a life of purity, and the red one? That meant a martyr's death. She offered him the choice. Which one did he want? His answer basically set the course for the rest of his life. He didn't pick one or the other. He said he would accept them both. As a child, he unknowingly charted a path that would have to embrace both holiness and total sacrifice. And that childhood vision? It wasn't just some dream he forgot about. It lit a fire under him. After he joined the Franciscan order and took the name Maximilian, he channeled all of that energy into building something huge, a modern, innovative global movement. So in 1917, he started this group called the Militia Immaculatae, which basically translates to the Knights of the Immaculata. And the goal was, well, it was massive. He wanted to win the entire world for his cause, and he was determined to use the most modern technology available to do it. And you know what? He was incredibly good at it. He was a true media pioneer. He started a magazine, then he built this huge monastery and publishing house in Poland called Niepokalanów. He even started a mission all the way over in Japan. By 1939, his city of the Immaculata housed 650 friars. It was enormous. And just to give you a sense of his reach, at its absolute peak, the magazine he published had a monthly circulation of over 1 million copies. I mean, think about that. That made him a major voice, a huge influence in Poland before the war. Now, that mission in Japan has a really fascinating story. When he was looking for a place to build a monastery, he picked a spot that everybody thought was, well, just strange. It was on the side of a mountain, facing away from the city of Nagasaki. People told him it was a terrible location. But that strange positioning ended up being its salvation, because when the atomic bomb completely devastated Nagasaki in 1945, the mountain acted as a shield, protecting the monastery from the blast. It survived, and the friars were able to help the victims in the city below. Kolbe's work, as you can imagine, eventually put him on a collision course with the Nazis. His publications were openly critical of their ideology, and his monastery in Poland was actually sheltering about 1,500 Jewish refugees. So, on February 17th, 1941, the Gestapo came for him. They arrested him and sent him to Auschwitz. In the camp, he was just another number, 16670. The guards singled him out for especially brutal treatment, forcing him into back-breaking labor. But he just refused to be broken. Other prisoners remembered him secretly acting as a priest, hearing confessions in whispers, sharing his already tiny food rations, and giving comfort to dying men. This quote from his own newspaper right before he was arrested really gets to the heart of his philosophy, even inside Auschwitz. For him, the real battle wasn't against the guards or the barbed wire. It was the one happening inside every single human soul. And that brings us right back to that terrible roll call. When Kolbe stepped forward to volunteer, the SS commander was reportedly just astonished. He asked him who he was, and Kolbe's answer was simple: "I am a Catholic priest." The offer was accepted. For the next 2 weeks, Kolbe and the 9 other men were locked away in a dark, underground cell to die. But guards and other prisoners later said that instead of screams, they heard prayers and hymns coming from the bunker. He had turned a torture chamber into a chapel. After 2 weeks, he was the last one left alive. The guards, needing the cell for more victims, finished the job with a lethal injection. According to the testimony of the man who administered the shot, Kolbe just calmly held out his arm for the needle. His last words brought his life full circle, right back to that vision that started it all: Ave Maria. In 1982, Pope John Paul II made him a saint, but not as a typical martyr. He was named a martyr of charity. And you know who was there in the crowd watching? Franciszek Gajowniczek, the man whose life he had saved, who survived the war and lived long enough to see the stranger who died for him become a saint. So Kolbe's story has become this powerful symbol that reaches far beyond the gates of Auschwitz. It really forces us to think about the nature of good and evil, and about the incredible power of a single conscious choice. His legacy is really a testament to the idea that even when faced with unimaginable cruelty, our humanity can win. It's this profound proof that we have the power to choose love over fear. And it's a reminder that one person's act of self-sacrificial love can be the ultimate act of defiance against oppression. His life leaves us with a really challenging question, one that's just as relevant today as it was in that dark cell back in 1941. In a world that's so often defined by conflict, what does it truly mean to create love?